Welcome, Guardians. In this video, I will be going over the new Armor 2.0 system coming to Destiny 2 in Shadowkeep, which is now arriving October 1st. I'll be covering how we acquire 2.0 armor, the differences in affinity elements, the energy and mod cost system, and upgrading our gear into Masterwork. So let's get right into it. First off, let's talk about how we acquire 2.0 armor. It's pretty straightforward in the fact that any legendary gear that drops or is bought from world vendors after Shadowkeep is launched will now always be 2.0. So going and getting Escalation Protocol armor from Mars or even Black Armory pieces will be 2.0. The same goes for exotics, but one thing of note with exotics is that if you pull them from your collections when the update has arrived, it will be 2.0 right off, though it will have static rolled stats. To get random rolled stats, you will need to acquire world drop versions of them. We aren't sure yet if any legendaries will have this option as well from collections, but I wouldn't count on it right away. You might have to collect pieces for 2.0 for it then to be able to be pulled from your collections, but again, we aren't sure yet. One special armor set acquisition is that if you've collected the Majestic set from the Solstice armor during the recent event, the armor will be available to be obtained from Banshee 44 as new 2.0 armor when everything launches. So let's go over stats now. With stats on Armor 2.0, we will have Intellect, which increases your super recharge rate, Discipline, that increases your grenade recharge rate, Strength, which increases your melee recharge rate, Mobility, which increases your movement speed and jump height, Resilience, which decreases damage that you receive, and Recovery, which speeds up your healing from damage you've taken. These stats on the armor will vary depending on the armor drops that you obtain. The range on the stats go from 0 to 100. Within this range are tiers that you need to hit to get the benefit of increased stat effectiveness. Every 10 points in a stat will bump you into the next tier, and there are also mods that will improve these stats. And it was stated that there are ways to have a build with a maxed out 100 stat without socketing a single mod. Also, any piece of armor that gets masterworked will then have a +2 to all stats. Now let's go over the new affinity system. Affinity is the energy type that the armor piece rolls as. We've got the usual with Arc, Solar, and Void. This is important now for new reasons because whatever the element is determines what weapon mods the armor will have access to. What we've seen are these corresponding elements and mods. Void supports hand cannon, sniper rifles, scout rifles, sidearms, and grenade launcher mods. Arc supports bows, pulse rifles, machine guns, shotguns, and sword mods. And Solar supports fusion rifles, auto rifles, linear fusion rifles, submachine guns, and rocket launcher mods. So specific mods that you want will only be accessible on armor pieces with a matching element, though there will always be general or neutral weapon mods on gear as well. Another change is that certain mod types like weapon reloaders or targeting have been categorized into the armor types. Here's a list of what we know so far. Helmets now have access to all of the ammo finders and targeting mods. Arms have the ones for reloading and grenade mods such as fastball and impact induction. Chests have reserves and unflinching. Legs have scavenger, dexterity, and traction, and class pieces have the orb pickup effects, super energy on kill such as remote connection, and class ability bonuses such as distribution. So for an example to all this, if you want to get hand cannon enhanced targeting, you'd have to have a void energy type helmet. And then if you wanted to stack a hand cannon reloader with it, you'd need void arms for access to that mod. But as an alternative to this, there will be general mods that do not have an elemental affinity and will be available on any piece of your gear. The general stats will be like small arms reloader or rifle targeting, and they will give the exact same boost that a hand cannon or pulse rifle specific one would give, only it's to a wider category of weapons, but also it'll cost more with the energy costs that are associated with it. All the armor that drops in the game is random in its stats and its energy type. So there will always be a grind for a particular piece of gear if you're trying to set up a very specific build. Now let's get into the specifics about how mods work and how to acquire them. So when Shadowkeep launches, our old mods for armor aren't going to simply disappear. You'll still have access to the ones that you've collected and they will still function like normal. They just won't socket into the 2.0 variations of the armor system. And you will not automatically have access to all the mods you've had previously with the new 2.0 armor. You will have to re-obtain certain ones for use with the new armor system, and any mods that you collect will then be usable on any armor piece related to the perk, and it will not be consumable or just a one-time use. It'll be permanent. If you get a mod, you'll always have the mod with no fear of using it up and needing to find more. Mods will be purchasable or earned from the gunsmith still at some form of daily or weekly rotation, but I wouldn't be surprised if better mods such as enhanced targeting ones come only from larger activities like raids or something. Many mods will drop randomly during gameplay, and there are 11 general mods that we will have immediate access to without needing to collect. So as far as how mods work on your armor, I'll break down the basics of utilizing energy costs and slotting mods into your gear. With any piece of armor, you will have an amount of max energy usable, depending on what level that gear is at. All armor has a max level or energy pool of 10. You can level up your armor with materials similar to how we normally will level up in Masterwork armor, though there are new materials such as enhancement prisms and ascendant shards. We aren't 100% on where we obtain these new materials, and they look to be a higher rarity than enhancement cores, so they'll probably come from the more hardcore type of activities like raids, or maybe from weekly or longer grind quests or bounties that we can pick up. So along with your energy pool in your armor, there are 3 mod slots. These mod slots will have access to all of the mods that you've unlocked, at least all of the neutral ones, and then the energy ones that match the affinity on that armor. These mods all have a number in the top corner, which instead of representing the quantity of your mods, actually represents the cost of equipping each mod. The cost comes out of your current max energy pool on the armor. So if your armor is masterworked and gives the max energy of 10, you can equip either 2 mods that cost 5 each, or even 3 mods with any cost combination as long as it's adding up to 10 or less. We can change mods whenever we like as long as we have the currency to do so, which looks like it's about 500 glimmer per mod equip. One thing to know is that some mods will not be able to be double stacked, and this will be noticeable because when you equip one mod, it will then be grayed out, or other corresponding mods that you cannot stack with that will be grayed out. So we won't be able to stack 2 scout rifle targeting adjusters or 2 hand cannon reloaders, for example. And finally, let's go over the cosmetic side of Armor 2.0. So the appearance customization of any armor is now located in a separate screen from the mods. If you go to the bottom of the mod screen and click the appearance tab, it will bring you over to the screen where you can change your ornamentation, shaders, and armor glows. All of the Eververse armor sets that you've acquired in the past will now be able to be used as ornaments to change any of the Armor 2.0 visual styles, as will the green and blue pieces of the recent Solstice armor sets. I'm sure there's more, or at least there will be, for ornamentation options in the future. And with the Solstice armor glows from the recent event, it looks like you can use those along with changing the ornaments for the Solstice armor pieces to get an even more creative style. So hopefully this video has helped you learn more about the new Armor 2.0 system, and I hope you all are as excited as I am to experience these changes firsthand. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more from me in the future, don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe to my channel for more content. Thank you all for watching.